Consequently, gambling houses, whether a sawdust joint or one of the fancier clubs, went to all sorts of creative extremes to try to avoid the inevitable bust.
The only way to get there was through an elevator. There were no stairs anywhere. It was just an elevator. And what you would have to do is, first of all, you have to get on the elevator, which was not an easy thing to do, but when you did, it would take approximately 4 to 5 minutes for that elevator to go up one flight of stairs, or one floor. And of course, by the time you did, they had put all the slot machines behind the wall, and they had flipped all the tables and made it into bridge.
They had games, card tables, with just a green felt, but up in the ceiling they had cameras with film strip on it. When they turned them on, it would portray a layout from the camera. And of course, in case of a raid, turn the cameras on. It wasn't the camera, it was a projector. Turn the projector off, and there went the layout, and it was just a plain table. Everybody sat around playing cards.
The crack games were billiard tables with the cloth stretched over it and the sides pushed down. And if the cops kept, they would roll that up, put it away, and people would be playing billiards. And they couldn't do anything as long as the games were apart.
A lot of the gambling equipment was designed for easy dismantling, and everyone knew the cue.
If you hear the buzzer, there's a big buzzer on the wall. They pushed the buzzer, and they wouldn't let people, the cops in because they had to go through 4 or 5 doors. And by that time, we had games where they could come apart. Everybody, all the dealers would be rushing around, putting games into a storage room.
Like the big screw on them, they could take them apart, fold it up, carry it out. All the chips would put in bushel baskets. So when they found, all they found was a rather large kitchen and the chef and a dishwasher and me.
It would take about 5-8 minutes to take them apart and run real fast and put them away.
Everybody's got a job to do. You got to take the chips and the whole thing. And you're just standing around like, you know, you're listening to the radio or whatever.
This cat and mouse game went on for more than 50 years in many parts of the country. Another common way that people found their way into the illegal casino business was by first running a small horse book.
A horse book, for those of you that are uninitiated, is a place where you can bet on horses. And of course, in the horse book itself, they always had crab games, 21 games, sometimes a roulette wheel.
Beginning in the 1890s, out of Lexington, Kentucky, a man by the name of Tennis began to send news across the Western Union telegraph lines about each of the horse races at certain major horse tracks. Bookies in various cities then would open up what were called wire rooms, and people would come and bet on the horse race that was being held maybe 1,000 miles away.
There was a fellow that was a teletype operator that would take the calls of the races on teletype, then he'd announce them over the speaker. And he'd say that they're off in the first race in New York, and at the quarter it's 2 by 1, 3 by 2, number 4 is running third, things like that.
All over the country, the back rooms of bars, barber shops, newsstands, and cigar stores were becoming fronts for places where a man could get a drink and place a bet on a horse. With an estimated 15,000 of them operating in America in 1930, many of them eventually became legal horse books, like this one. Veteran Las Vegas casino owner Jackie Gaughan got his start in gaming by running horse books back in Omaha.
When I come back from the Army, I opened my own place. I call it the Park Avenue Cigar Store. It was on Park Avenue in Leavenworth. Cigar store front, and bookmaking downstairs and bookmaking upstairs. The bookmaking on horses wasn't legal, and the bookmaking on sports was. So you could bet on sports upstairs in my place, legal, and downstairs in my place, you could bet on horses, but it was illegal.